We are starting this Love is Blind finale with a multiple choice question.
Oh.
Here we go. Can you
Mhm.
get this right? Do you have your winning music ready to go?
Winning music?
Or
You didn't
something-
tell me to have music.
I thought we had music when things are good. I don't know
I-
why we have all this stuff.
I have. Here we go. Oh, wait.
You know what? Turn that off. This is serious. This is serious business. This is serious reality show recaps. This is serious. Stop it! Love is blind. Love is blind. It's reality games presenting Love is Blind. Yeah. Brett and Tiffany's wedding officiant. Is he A, an aspiring megachurch pastor?
Okay.
B, an aspiring stand-up comedian?
Mm-hmm.
C, a current or aspiring pub trivia host? Or D, all of the above?
I'm nervous. I'm going to say.
Search your heart. Search your heart.
I'm going to say D,
You
all of the
win,
above.
you
Yay!
win.
Here's some music.
That's winning music. Y'all, that's it. That's it. That's all I wanted. God damn it. This is Love is Blind, the finale. What is it? Eternal Bliss.
Who dis?
By now, we all know how it turned out.
Oh.
This was a satisfying finale.
We weren't completely wrong about everyone.
We were wrong about one couple.
One couple.
Yeah. Well, we were wrong about Chelsea and Kwame.
We were wrong about
No,
them,
we were right. We were right. I'm sorry.
We thought they would say I do, but we thought that if anyone, I think you thought one of us thought he would. I don't even remember what we said, but
we were wrong about Micah and Paul.
This was a satisfying ending, and because of what we know now, because that there's doing a live reunion, oh God, I don't know what Micah's going to be on to be able to get through that.
I
but
know.
Oh my, because y'all,
she was humiliated by Paul, by a scientist, now he's a nerd, but he's a hot nerd.
She's going to be like when Cersei Lannister's son was poisoned. She's going to go. She's going to be wearing all black. It's going to get bad, y'all.
An Arena comes in and kneecaps him, and he says, tell Paul it was me.
Tell Paul. No, it was a satisfying finale. I think now between the season 3 being satisfying and season 4, I think now we can put to bed that hopefully we're never going to get a season 2 finale again. Do you feel less worried about it, Poodle?
I do. Season 3, I guess, was pretty satisfying because
shocking, but
shocking,
satisfying.
Definitely shocking. But satisfying. Although I really didn't want Colleen and Matt to get married.
You did not.
I did not want that to happen. Ooh.
You really didn't. No. Yeah. I don't blame you.
And I still have scorch marks on my face from Zenub. Zenub screaming at Cole.
We'll see how fame will get to these people and what will change. We know that some of them are quite thirsty.
Yeah. What do you think that Jackie is going to be on the reunion?
Yes, and I think that because she likes and comments on every post we put on Instagram. Bitch is dehydrated. Have we even talked about? I don't even think we talked about all the Maybe we'll save
No.
that for the end, kind of all what's happened in social media for Love
Oh,
Is Blind.
y'all,
Maybe we'll do that for the end.
she is messy with a capital
Oh.
Essie. It is bad.
The Loch Ness Monster just went, "Hey, don't talk about me like I'm not here."
Messy with a capital Nessie. It's bad.
I'm not that
Ooh.
bitch.
Ooh.
Wow. Only on reality games are you going to get Loch Ness Monster humor.
That's not sort of references and
You're welcome.
imitations.
You're welcome.
So should I just some general like overview stuff.
Please.
This season
Please.
has really been incredible.
By heads and tails, the best season. Heads and tails.
What is in your mouth?
Oh, I have my rubber bands in.
Okay. It sounds like you have marbles in your fucking mouth. So you need to speak more athletically so things don't sound like they're rolling around. Jesus. I just heard
I'm drunk.
Speak athletically,
Heads and tails.
but not popping in your microphone, please.
Well, I have to, though, with these rubber bands. Fine, I'll take them out. But if I have to wear more orthodontics longer, then you have to live with that. There you go.
I feel
Sorry.
like there's just so much slobber when you speak.
Sometimes I just drool on myself at this point. It's like when I had jaw surgery before and I couldn't feel it. Somebody looking at me and I would just be drooling down my shirt.
I wish I could shrink your tongue.
Well,
Like it.
hey, the men I date don't wish you would.
Ooh.
Yeah.
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 It's disturbing. So, just besides being kind of the best season, I want to say 2 edits I think
Yes.
changed everything.
Okay.
I think Paul's edit in response to what he thought about Micah and their relationship was extremely massaged. I think what they chose to say about Micah and their relationship was only positive.
Micah got a good edit.
Yeah.
From this, because when he said, well, let's first just talk about, let's just get Chelsea and Kwame done. And then because Micah and Paul are next one. There's not much of Kwame and Chelsea except for he says, I do.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, we talked about it most of the
What was your response?
When he said, I wrote it and I went, wow. I just kind of shocked. I was obviously I was shocked with Micah and Paul, but kind of the way this episode was edited, it made sense. But with Kwame, I was just shocked. What was your response?
Same. We were thinking that the editing was taking great pains to try to suggest he was going to say no. And I think we were a little snowed. Because I think they were fine after everything. I will say she got under my skin more and more. It's like the exact opposite of thing that happened with me for Zach. By the last episode, I was like, oh, you're fucking obnoxious. She's like, oh my God, I'm your wife. I'm Mrs. Kwame. I'm like, shut up.
And it's again, I bet it's in the edit because I bet when you think back on it, we never actually saw positive moments in their relationship except for when maybe he met her family.
Yeah. No, you're correct. And we only saw really favorable kind of like empowering things for Chelsea. And then slowly things got annoying. Like that fucking underwear boudoir shoot, which was basically sportswear. God, that was still one of the most cringy things I've seen.
I mean, that's saying something because, and I say this with love, but you're a big fucking slut. And even you wouldn't do that.
No.
And you love showing your body. You love making people uncomfortable. Like,
but it wasn't really sexy. It was just kind of like them in their underwear. and
Mhm.
trying to look sexy.
Mhm.
It wasn't like boudoir shoots. It looked like like outtakes from porn. It wasn't sexy.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask this for each couple. Do you think they're gonna go the distance?
I don't know because I don't know if I actually saw them together. That's the kind of the frustrating thing here.
True.
I think she was given a really later on we saw her as really wanting this relationship, and we saw him as being constantly conflicted and being to a point offensively needy and victimy. And so I don't know. My gut says no, mostly because he's been on tried to be on another show before.
From what we've seen, apparently this is a little bit of social. It's not. There's like now
Social media.
there's
He was on Married at First Sight and cut.
Ready First Sight, and there's rumors that people are saying he hired his sister someone to play his sister.
What?
I think that's
What?
bullshit. Yeah, I think that's just stupid.
Okay, that's nuts. If
That's
that
nuts.
happened, that's nuts.
I need receipts for that. I'm not going to believe that, y'all. I don't. I think that's
You just blew
nutso.
my mind because I will say, Barbara, please, Barbara. Barbara was quite the sight.
She was a performer.
She was a riot.
She was great.
She was giving everything.
If he ended up hiring someone to play his sister, well done. If I'm ever on it, if the reality show ever wants you and I to be on something, I'll hire someone to
I'll
play
hire
you.
someone to play you in a
Yeah,
second.
same.
Yeah. I wonder if Nessie's available.
Hey. All right, now let's talk about Micah and Paul.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Aren't they next?
There was only a
I don't
little
have
bit.
anything. I don't have anything else of Kwame
I
and
was just
Chelsea.
going to say one more thing about Kwame and Chelsea.
Please.
Even when he said, "Oh, I'm your wife," even when he was sitting there, when he said very nonchalantly, he said, "I do," and maybe that's him. Maybe we don't see, but the weirdest thing is there was a lot of him being really gregarious and social in his talking heads, but maybe when maybe he's just he's not really lovey-dovey.
I think that's probably fair. Very fair.
Yeah. I it felt a little cold to me.
Yeah.
The whole scene, and I don't know. I don't know if we ever really knew who he was.
I don't think he knows who he is.
Yeah. He was I don't like I really disliked him this season. And now I'm a little bit apathetic about it all.
I'm apathetic because I agree with you. I disliked him. But now I'm like, but I don't know him.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like I don't know him after
that's
the
what I
fact.
feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the edit was pretty deceptive. But you know what? It's not that I have a huge problem with it. They were trying to create interest. I think here's my theory.
Oh no.
I think they were
Ladies and gentlemen, to the stage, Tinfoil Hattie.
Hey, boys. It's Tinfoil Hattie. I'm here to provide conspiracy theories from the moon landing, JFK assassination. It's Tinfoil Hattie. She's a hell of a time. Wow. Anyway, as Tinfoil Hattie, I say, I think they were fine. And I think we needed another couple to provide drama because Tiffany and Brett were such an obviously sure thing. And
yeah,
I think that we needed to make things happen. We needed to slant the edit a bit.
I think they preyed upon that most people have watched prior seasons because so many people, we said this, so many other people have said this, that like he gives us SK vibes.
Yeah.
And the fact, I think that they since we just had the after the altar and SK cheated on Raven and he was like this other person, I think they played on that.
Yeah, maybe. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of unfair.
I think
Uh,
it's really, really unfair.
yeah.
I mean, maybe. So maybe but yeah, I don't think he is like SK really at all. I just
No.
think that I agree with you. I think that's an unfair edit, but they wanted they edited him as if he had not an ulterior motive, but that he had secrets.
Yes, and that he, excuse me, he consistently tried to say he was the victim in the relationship, and she was requiring him to compromise so much.
I do
And
think he does a little bit of that. I think that
me,
was because he
I
said
think
it.
that was real. I don't think I don't think he was really likable on the show. I don't think he came off as very likable at all. I think he's great with family. Like
Yeah.
he plays a good game. He gives good meat.
He works in sales.
Yeah, he's a salesman. And it felt everything felt a little scammy with him.
Yeah.
That would be my turn. Felt a little scammy. A little
Well,
like he was trying to sell her something.
the data didn't add up to and computed to what we know of him. Shall we move on
To
to
Paul.
our resident analyst, Paul and Micah?
So if you haven't seen it, stop right now.
Yeah, if you haven't seen
um,
it, stop right now. Thank you very much.
so we know that Paul said no, y'all. And Micah says she 100% would have said yes. Do you think she's being truthful?
I do.
I kind of I agree with you.
Because I think, y'all, Micah never wants to look stupid. And that's why she knew, like she said, that's why when she asked Paul to say it first. But
Well, she wanted to be chosen. Y'all, that was her the whole show. I
yeah.
think she would have said yes to anyone who really said yes to her because she wanted to be
Oh,
chosen. She wanted to be validated that way. She wanted to be sought. She wanted to be valued. And she literally wanted to be chosen as the best girl. And she was. Until she wasn't.
till she wasn't.
God, we have never had a moment like, I think I want you to answer first. By the way, I would totally do that. If I was on these
Oh,
shows.
100%.
I would totally say, you go first.
So they kind of, let's break it down. So we start to get little, because they did not show they did not show a lot of, remember, was it one episode ago or two episodes ago when literally all we had was like 3 minutes of Micah and Paul the entire episode,
Yeah,
and
they
that
were
was it.
making rings and that was it.
They were
Yeah.
making rings, and that was it. And I even told you, I was like, we got nothing of them. I guess they're happy.
Well,
That's because they wanted us to see
yeah,
that. I think there was a lot of conflict that we did not see.
that's true. I think that most of the things that we have seen is them when they were having conversations. He always would relinquish by saying, "Well, no, maybe we'll keep two places." You see him playing the peacemaker, and she was kind of always seems like she was getting her way,
Mm-hmm.
and he seemed like being more than willing to work it out in everything we saw. And the thing what you saw her do to stand up for him was like when her friends the Harpies came for him, she basically said, "I love him. That's just it." And y'all both I can't remember one of the other ones' names. I know Shelby, of course, and Harpy too. Um,
But it led me on because for the first time in this episode, when Micah was talking to her bridesmaids, before, like when they met with their mom and they're like, what do you love about each other? And she was like, we just like want to live an epic life, an epic relationship. But this time, Micah actually said specifics like, I I've hid parts of myself in other relationships, and those parts that I've hidden, he makes me feel calm about that. And I went, that's a great specific, and that's a great reason. Like why you would talk about being in love with someone.
And at the same time, he said
And
he
that is
was
when she said, I just want to follow up. That is when she said, I don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to make me feel 100% chosen. She
yeah,
said that. Yeah.
that's
Sorry,
what
go
she
ahead.
wants. That's what she wants her whole life. They want to choose her over all other girls.
Yeah.
That's it. That was the second part of that. She didn't say that out loud. Choose her over everybody else
No, she
because it
did
makes
say
her feel
that.
like a
She
winner.
said, but I'm not going to get married to someone who doesn't make me feel 100% chosen. She actually said that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was saying over all the other girls.
Oh, yes. Overall,
That was what was unsaid.
especially Irina, because she hates her
Yes,
now. Yeah.
which is
And sorry.
why she was such a bee in the pods.
Yeah.
And she was too competitive.
Yeah.
Now, what was interesting, Paul said, he's really tried to stretch why he's so into her. He says, well, we see the world the same. Not true. Not true. You
Not
are
true at all.
extremely analytical. He's like, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's like, fuck it. Let's have a good time. So his viewpoint was she brings me back to earth a little bit. But
Hmm.
at the same time, that's not the same thing as fuck it, let's have a good time. That means that's like nothing means anything kind of nihilism.
I mean, what's fuck it? Let's have a good time to you.
Let's fucking have a good time.
Oh, very literal. You're a literal bitch.
I am. So the guys, I don't think we saw a lot. I don't think you said this earlier. I don't think we saw enough of them to fully get a substance of who they were. Um,
I agree. I
yeah,
agree. They because he's basically his one of his friends said, do you feel like you're living differently this period? Like, and do you feel like you can change? And Paul's he said, well, my question is basically like, then Paul starts says, well, my question is, can we get through? Basically meaning like, can we get through change? And then I went, wait a minute. You say that as if there's been like road bumps that we haven't seen that you need to get what
yeah.
change? What is this thing y'all need to get through? Because we haven't seen it.
No, I agree. Later on, y'all, 80s character actor who plays the nosy neighbor, otherwise known as Micah's mother, visits her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've got to say, this woman's style could not be further from Micah's. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure this woman is her actual mother.
I think it is.
How could this have birthed Micah?
I mean, maybe because it's just it only makes sense in that Micah had to go so opposite of
Yeah.
everything she knew.
God, that mousy mop of hair.
It's not good.
God bless her. I
Not
liked
good.
it when she said, some people, they're like, Dad's like, you put us through a lot. And Mom says, some people date for years and then they get divorced. Well, what are you going to do? And she's like, but like, what do you know? And Mom went, you do know. She was doling out the knowledge.
She was. And then we get Paul's hugging his mom, and he says, or twin Micah, and basically she's all in. She's like, I love her.
Yeah.
And he's like,
They are a lot alike.
Yeah, he said, I wish I had a way to make this decision. And you kind of see everything seems great, but then we meet Paul's dad and Paul's stepmom, and it's a different story.
Who is wearing a dress with blue wings? I was obsessed with these wing shapes.
I'm kind of obsessed with his stepmother because she looks like a woman who just doesn't mind going around pissing people off.
Yeah. I don't know where they live. They look wealthy.
They look very well. He looks just like his dad.
But I agree. But there's something about that dress with its wings made it look like royal coronation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
I don't know if I loved it or hated it, but it was I've never seen things like that. She didn't seem like she was old enough to wear it. But it was giving like mother of the bride royal wedding.
It was. It was.
All she needed was a hat.
Oh God. I want to
I,
start wearing hats to
I'm still
weddings.
thinking about that dress with wings, with wings on the neckline.
Uh well, we kind of start to see this is where the tone shifts because the stepmom's like, "Are you okay?" And Paul says, "Quote, I'm not even close to being okay." And I went, "Okay, that's a strong statement from someone who we think might say yes."
Yeah, I
And dad's
thought.
like, "You got to do what makes you happy." And I went, "They seemed like they already knew he was going to say no to me."
Well, I came to a conclusion after it's over. I'll share that. So the wedding, y'all, or the ceremony, Micah's basically going, "Oh my god, oh 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 my god," and gasping because
Yeah.
she's realizing this is either going to be the best day of her life or complete and utter humiliation.
Well, because she's giggling. She even like walks when she walks down the aisle. She looks pretty. Her makeup's a little too heavy, but she looks pretty. But she hugs him and she says, "I missed you." And so it's like what Paul has done, he doesn't realize he has tamed the jaguar in her.
Jaguar.
That's what I said.
You said
Jaguar.
Jaguar.
That's what I said, jaguar.
It's Jaguar.
But we don't say it like we said jaguar.
No, you do not.
Yes, we do. In Oklahoma, we say jaguar because we play the Jaguars. You don't say jaguars. Who says wars? Jaguar?
Everybody?
No, it's a jaguar.
No, it's not. I hate to tell you.
That's what we
The
say.
OED says Jaguar. And the OED is the only god we have left.
Well,
We've killed all the other ones.
in Southern Oklahoma, we say jaguar and mountain lion.
Yeah, we need to move on. I don't think this
what we
is
say.
solvable. I think we'll have to leave this here.
How do you say mountain lion?
Mountain lion.
Huh?
Mountain lion.
No,
Mountain lion? Better?
Mountain lion.
I've just never heard anyone say jaguar before.
Yeah, jaguar.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
We need to move on. So
Purcell Jaguars. Yeah, they beat us every year. Wait, no, they were the Dragons. Who were the Jaguars? No, it was the Dixon Comets, Hilton Bulldogs. Was it Duncan? I think Duncan Jaguars. I can't remember. There was a Jaguar, one of them. Atoka. I think it was the Atoka Jaguars. I think that's what it was.
I hate this.
Sorry. Okay. I think I'm wrong.
I just need to say things like, I hate this. I can't even play along because the word, you're saying it wrong and you're saying towns that I think are made up. So.
Maybe it's Warika. Okay, I'm here. I'm sorry.
God. Now, their officiant looks like a high schooler who won a contest to write the best wedding speech.
I did notice this
Like
officiant.
she won.
She looks very, very young.
Like 18 years old or a very young college student.
Y'all, I 100% believe a lot of these PAs had to get ordained by the Universalist Church.
Yeah, it always feels like they're trying to match a vibe, but it's just a little like, who's going to be their officiant? Is it going to be? I fully expect it to be a woman in like one thing will be like a woman in one of those scooter wheelchairs.
Yes,
It'll just be and she'll have a big blue bouffant.
Yes,
Like it'll just be someone.
Yes.
Man in like full like Samoan costume.
100%. 100%.
Huh. And he does like with the tattoos and everything like that. British nanny dressed as Mary Poppins.
Yes.
It'll be one of the.
It's time to ask yourselves, is Lord blind? Blimey, it's not today.
And then if someone says no, she pops out her bag and says, "Here, darling, take a tissue."
Yes. And then she floats away an umbrella.
Floats away. So what did you think? Um, Micah says this was interesting to me. Micah, I think, is trying to make good TV, but she says, "You made me feel that there are parts of me that I thought were unlovable, and those parts were good, and that's why I could do this."
I think she means that.
Me too. I think this might be the first serious relationship she's ever had.
I think the problem with Paul for Micah is that she's with someone who's not emotionally intelligent. Like, I don't mean that he's dumb. I just think he's kind of a bit of, when it comes to emotional vocabulary, and because he's so intellectual, those things are really hard for him, and he
Yeah.
often doesn't have the words. So, like you mentioned earlier, instead of putting words and voice and kind of syntax to that, he actually doesn't respond and kind of avoids it. But what that's been telling Micah, y'all, if you're in a relationship, if you're avoiding something, then someone's going to, part of them could very easily believe then that behavior, what I said then, is okay.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think that's where, that was the jump that I think she made, like maybe these shittier parts of herself, or like kind of the shady, like he never said a lot about that. And so maybe she thought, he loves that about me.
I think he might have been the first person who was actually kind to her, which is really sad.
That she dates guys that treat her like shit.
I know. That's why
Y'all,
Shelby's had to kill them all.
listen to Poodle on this, because game recognizes game.
Game recognizes game. Wow. That's true. That's a read, and it's fair, though. Oh, me and Micah, we got a lot of similarities.
Jake's, I mean, I've had guys treat me like shit too, but
No, but boy, in my 20s, treat me like garbage and ignore me. I'll follow you anywhere.
do it in your 20s, not like me in your 40s.
Yeah.
Get it done earlier.
Yeah, that's true. Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's even sadder.
It's sadly it is. So, and Paul, she's like, I feel really lucky. And Paul said, I question a lot of things, but there's no question in my mind, my love for you. It's so rare for me. It had to be us. And I go, okay.
And
And-
that's when I went, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. And Micah said, the best thing I can give you is the opportunity to answer first. And
I
for
screamed.
Well, I screamed. We're kind of all Shelby when Shelby said, I wish I was drunker.
Now, I don't think that's possible.
I don't think that's possible. No, she's fucking
definitely
lit.
had 4 mimosas.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
And a flask.
And then Paul, he says it.
I love you. But, and I went,
Gunga.
I gasped.
I did too.
And he said, I don't think we can choose each other right now. And this is interesting.
I think we're not there.
And I thought, he's like, maybe with a little time. And I screamed out, nope, you got to walk away forever. Like Nick Lachey says.
Walk away forever.
You are forbidden from ever laying eyes on each other again, because those are the rules of Love is Blind. Because we say it every fucking time.
Every time.
Oh, I hate that.
I know.
Anyway, so basically Micah says she's trying to put on a brave face. Honestly, that's why I thought you were going to say this whole time I've wanted to feel love and be told that you love me, but it never felt safe. And so what do you think she needed from him that she never got? What do you think would have made her say, I felt loved?
I think in Micah's defense.
No, I totally agree. I do agree with her. He never gave her that.
I think Paul is a hard person to love, because I think he is not emotional. I think she needs constant, like, think about how much she would say, I miss you. I miss you. She probably, and Paul maybe recognizes that as either neediness or just a need he can't meet. I bet there's a lot of quiet moments with Paul where Micah is talking all the time, Paul is in his head a lot. He's thinking. He probably is not affirming you constantly and
Yeah.
validating
I
the love.
I think that's exactly what she needs. She needs
She needs that.
affirmation. She needs
And there's nothing
that's her
wrong with
love
that.
language.
If
No,
that's what
absolutely
you
not.
need, yeah.
And she shouldn't, and you should ask for it. And she leaves crying, and Shelby goes, "I'm relieved. That's just how I wanted it to go."
And I went,
"Where's my stogie?"
so glad you feel bad for your friend.
No,
Wow. What
what a
empathy.
horrible, like, just what a harridan.
You
Just
forgot to say she was smiling and laughing as she was saying it. Like, oh
just
my God,
a
that's there.
just a wretched person.
What a
Y'all get rid of
monster.
toxic friends like that in your life.
Oh, Micah, get the fuck rid of Shelby.
You know what, though? A lot of times we need that. Get rid of your birth mother, as Michelle said.
From Bloody Day, yes. Get rid of your birth mother.
I still laugh about that almost daily when I think about her, or when I think about Darcy and Stacy. A laugh out loud moment is when she was like, "Zach is just so embraceful. He's just so embraceful."
So embraceful.
I can just say, "It's very embraceful," and I can start laughing. There are moments that I can take from these shows that will always crack myself up.
Agreed.
Oh, I should have been drinking out of my goblet.
Oh, yes. I'm drinking out of my. Oh, I almost spilled my Love is Blind goblet. Thank you, someone
and
at
your
Netflix
brand
who will not be
safety.
me.
So anyway, y'all, he goes after her and just kind of stands there because he is just like, he is at this point, he is a computer that's restarting itself. And he just stares at her. Boom. And he's like, "Get away." He's like, I feel so awful. And then he said, "I really hate this. And I understand why people in crisis have to say this. Do you hate me?" And I don't know is there an option to say?
Y'all, people say that. He's saying that because when people say that, they're honestly making it about them.
Yep.
And he's being selfish in that moment. He needs to think about what Brett would say. If Brett did something like that, first of all, he would never.
He would never.
But he probably would say, not that you hate me, but say, "I'm sorry, I know." Like, he probably would try to meet where she is. But I think that's just a clear example that, y'all, Paul is a man child. He's a boy.
That was my conclusion. He's extreme. He is not ready to get married. He's not ready to be in a serious relationship.
No.
He needs to the work he does keeps him in his own head and away from his own story and emotions.
He needs to grow his hair out again and just fuck some people.
Oh my God, that picture of him long haired.
He's pretty hot with long hair.
I think he's a mama's boy, and he is trying to stay young for as long as he can. He's intellectually far superior to his emotional state.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
not I will say this, and it's going to be hard for her because she has such problems with confidence and vulnerability. It's not about Micah.
No, I agree with you.
I don't know if he would have married anyone.
I agree with you. I don't think he would have married, what's her name? Helena.
Helena.
I'm just coming up
Helena
with the name.
Bonham Carter was on this show.
I felt like it started with it was a name like everybody else has, I believe. Julia.
Alex.
I can't remember what the girl's name was.
Well, he's not going to marry her either.
No, he's not.
Should have
chosen. Yeah. Anyway,
but Micah says, "I don't want you here. I don't want you here. It's too hurtful. It feels hurtful."
Did you buy what he said about I could never see her as a mother? That was his main reason?
Yeah. Oh, his main reason.
Yeah.
No, I didn't take that as his main reason. I took his main reason being that he couldn't be with her because she's a bitch. Basically, I mean that because he said she doesn't have this nurturing
Yeah.
And I agree with you. That makes sense because he's a big mama's boy. Because
Exactly.
is he
That was what I was going to say. Yeah.
is he from New Orleans?
Yep. Southern
So
Louisiana.
it goes in that we talk about. I don't want to say their name because you're going to do it.
Mama Jovi and Jovi Chow.
But when we talk about
You're my
Jovi,
boy. You my boy.
when
My
we talk
sweet
about
baby.
when we talk about Jovi and
Prince.
y'all, if y'all remember, Poodles went to school and fucked a lot of guys in Baton Rouge,
Oof.
and
Truth.
but there is
Red
this
stick, and it was sat on lots of red sticks.
Wow.
Some pink ones and some black ones too.
Wow. All right then. Don't know how to respond to that. But I think what I was going to say was you talked though about how we've talked about this on Southern Charm, but how even in New Orleans, that in the like Charleston, you've talked about them having Peter Pan syndrome, but with Jovi, you said very much in like the New Orleans area, there's these strong motherly influences that baby their kids so much.
They don't grow up. They don't grow up, and the wives become their next mother. Yeah.
So it's like Paul just admitted he was looking for another mother.
Yep. No, it's so Oedipal, it's ridiculous. It's
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but in reality, Micah's the one who won out in this situation.
She's also the better catch, and I can't believe I'm saying that.
I know.
She at least you could kind of meet her halfway in some things. I don't think Paul's ready for a relationship.
I think Paul will be a great catch in 10 years.
Yep.
Because I think he's not a bad guy. I think he's a nice guy.
I don't think they should allow men on this show younger than 30.
I agree.
I think that would solve so many of these problems.
Yeah.
Men, y'all, you don't need to marry a man your same age. Hell no.
No.
They need to be at least 5 years older to just be competitive with you. You know, you could outsmart them so quickly.
Wow.
That's 10 years is great, honestly.
You really prefer 30 because then they have a little bit of dementia.
Yeah, it's better that way. Contracts aren't easily decipherable with a little dementia.
They get confused.
Yeah, makes it easier the balance is a little off. Yeah. Anyway, good times. But anyway, they go away.
He says, I love her. He says, I love you so much.
I don't know if he knows what that is.
I don't think he knows what that is either.
Yeah.
I agree. I just don't think he has the depth for it. Micah's mom comes in and hugs her, and she said,
"He's an idiot."
And she says, "I feel really broken. I feel like a disaster." What I will say, Micah has an opportunity to do two things. Micah does have an opportunity to either, what's that Leonard Cohen quote you say about being broken?
We're all broken. That's what the light gets in.
I think she has an opportunity to, like, from this brokenness, become a better person and actually realize, or
be on Perfect Match.
Be on Perfect Match and just completely double down on who she was before.
I see much more options in letter B for her.
Yeah.
Tiffany and Brett.
Oh, God.
I got to say, this wedding and what was leading up to it was everything I wanted it to be. I thought I cried several times. The mishap with Brett and the tailoring and him freaking out, that was the freak out that we saw.
That actually was really riveting because that's the one thing that'll piss him off is he's a fashion guy. And it was kind of like...
This thing was not happy about her pants.
Oh,
I get
y'all, this episode, we met Miss Brett, and I liked her.
I know.
Yes.
And then we took it to the tailor, who was probably named Luba or something. She's like, I fix it very fast. Did I do okay? And you know what? Luba did great.
She did great.
It was 30 minutes before the wedding. I loved this moment. Marshall shows up. I
Oh,
got a little emotional when I saw him. And y'all, Marshall was just trying to keep it fucking together. Because remember, Marshall was the one who told Brett, "This is the one for you. She's not for me, but Tiffany's for
yeah.
you."
Yeah, he said that. He and Marshall said, "It's a little hard to be here, but it's not about me. I'm here for you." I mean, really, y'all, we could go through all their family and all that, but
It was
it's all
all
just it's
wonderful.
all
They're
just a love
wonderful
fest.
people.
It's all they're wonderful people. I mean, when when Ella looks at Tiffany and says, "Look at my baby," I cried. Like
Oh,
it was just
I love her mom.
uh
I love
his
his dad or her dad,
yes.
and
I love his dad. I love her. I love them all. When he talks to her dad and they
oh
sit
my
down.
god.
Oh, oh,
And he gets the blessing. This is just how you do a wonderful, wonderful Love Is Blind wedding. It
it
was
was
lovely.
it was great. And so the crying we saw before was her just crying because she was so happy. And the thing of saying, "I don't want any surprises," was about his pants. Tiffany looks gorgeous.
I loved all like the little styling too. I
Yes.
liked the hair ornament. I loved the kind of Grecian belt. I loved everything about the dress.
Brett looks like how a man should look on his
Oh,
wedding
okay.
day.
That he was definitely the best well-dressed man, the best dressed man.
I need him to fuck me in that tux.
Okay. That got a little real.
Although,
Yikes.
but I
Boy,
kind of like
that
that.
was like kind of uncomfortable.
I used to love that, but I was a Men at Play fan. I love a guy in a suit that's going to dick me down.
But they take the suit off, right?
They can leave parts of it on, and then I do things with the tie.
Oh, I'm a little getting that bile coming up. So we're gonna move on.
Oh, please get ready. Get ready now. You're going to hear it from me.
Ooh, maybe just save those.
Okay, let's talk. And Brett says he's not, but as soon as he sees her and he walks down, he starts to cry.
Yeah, that was really sweet.
Let's talk about their vows.
Uh I think Tiffany said that your soul is so beautiful and you made me better. You don't judge me. You've been consistently yourself. I was crying at this point. And then Brett said this. I doubted I'd fall in love and you you were the opposite of what I thought I would meet. And I could hear the love in your voice
Your
when
voice.
you
I
talked to
just
me.
felt love in your voice.
And y'all,
I could be a better man for you and our future family. Ah, ah.
love is alive.
Love is alive at a breakfast table every day of the week. Love is alive at a dirty burning woman
I
out of me.
I don't know the last words of that. I think you just made them up.
Oh, love is alive and it's here by me. Little Judd's for y'all this morning.
Yeah. So Brett says, "I will." And so does Tiffany, y'all. This from their match. This was a no-brainer. This was
No brainer.
they tried to do that with Lauren and Cameron. This was even less of a softball this
Yeah.
time. There was no
I'm
they,
kind of glad they didn't because they try to edit Lauren and Cameron that way,
yeah.
like they were waffling,
Yeah.
and I think they realized we don't need to do that. We can have one couple that's just about love.
Yeah.
And when they're talking afterwards, he said, "I'm thrilled to start our life together," and he looks at her and he says, "Tiffany Brown," and I went, "Ooh," and she's like, "Let's go to the bridal suite and get it on, Mr. Brown," and I'm like, "Okay."
Nothing like fucking at your wedding when your guests are waiting.
That's the poodle way. Mark my words. I think they're going to be pregnant in like a year.
I hope so. Someone says that they think someone theorized that the live show is to reveal that she's pregnant.
I think they're going to be our first Love is Blind baby.
I hope so.
And then I want them to get
Well,
pregnant. And it's been 3 years, and it's maybe Lauren and Cam will get pregnant, and then they'll have babies together. And then I can go to their baby showers.
they're not going to invite you.
Ah, I love a baby shower.
I will say it wouldn't technically be the first Love is Blind baby
Ooh,
America.
that's a tease for at the end of the show with our social media Love is Blind minutes. Are you just gonna say it?
Can I just say it?
Just
Because
say it
I
and
don't
get it
want to
over
forget
with.
it. Because fucking Bartiz has a son that has a very a very like short window of time. He could have impregnated a woman because he was on the show, and then I think he had like a couple of months in there, and then he went to film Perfect Match, and he was back, and then he had a baby.
We don't know who the woman is, or some
They
people have
found her
speculated.
name. They found her name, but she's deleted all her socials.
She doesn't want to be. Yeah, we don't know if they're together. I don't think they are.
I
A
don't
lot of
think
people
they
are
are.
saying they were just a hookup and she got pregnant.
Yeah, because he never wraps it up.
You know what? Poodle and I can't judge that because if we got pregnant from hookups, well, let's be honest, Jake would be running a children's school at this point.
Or I'd have an
I
orphanage on the speed dial.
Yeah, I would definitely have a whole I'd be a stage mom and all my children would just be a touring orchestra.
Wow. Zach and Bliss. I think this was the last. This was my great hope for the season. And it was the most kind of suspense.
Who knew we were going to say that out of this couple?
I totally got the most excited out of these two.
Same.
Yeah.
This is one that I had the biggest reaction to whenever they both said I do.
I think they are two lovely weirdos.
Yep.
And a weirdo found they're going to go to Harry Potter world together. They're going to obsess over nerdy things together. And I think they're both intelligent, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy for them. What do you think? So he's talking to all his friends about how he grew up, and they're like, the only reason that I didn't choose her is because we had a fight about how I grew up and how her family was, and she's like, oh, it's fine. And basically he was thinking that she didn't really get it, and that was enough for him because it was such a trigger, and he chose the woman who was telling him everything he wanted to hear.
Which I think that tracks. I don't think he's saying that to save face. I think we've got to realize Zach really has some self-confidence issues.
Oh yeah.
He knows this. And so you see him kind of processing it in real time. And I bet you that he looks back on this time of he could have lost the best thing that ever happened to him.
No, yeah. Later on, he's basically talking about her parents, and he's like, her mother's a saint. She's wonderful. He's like, her dad, he's smart. He's tough. He could have thrown dad under a bus, because I'm sure dad has said some shitty things to him.
Yeah.
But Zach is even saying, logically, we haven't had time. So I was still a little worried that he was going to say no. I for some reason never thought she would. I feel like that would be she's too authentic for that to be shitty about that.
I think I actually felt okay about this because I thought they both this is their second chance. So they both already agreed to the second chance. So I felt like
I
they
agree.
would say yes.
Yeah. Y'all, he's talking to his sister, Alexa, and his grandmother is there. And they're like, well, there's one person who can't be here today. And
his
like,
mom,
his
y'all, because
mom,
she's
obviously.
dead.
And he's like, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for my mother's love. And I know she's watching me. And I wrote down, she's working that pole in heaven. I couldn't help myself.
Too soon, Poodle. Too soon, Poodle.
She's
this
watching
day of
me
love.
working that pole.
This is why we don't get invited to things. This is why we can't interview Zach, because he would be in a beautiful moment talking, and you would just go pole dancer, stripper, 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 and ruin it.
I just you know me. Anytime something,
yes, I do.
Something, but the first thing is like, I know she'd be here, and I was like, she's on that pole. She's watching you. I'm not shaming it. I just think it's hysterical.
Y'all, this is why you ask why we don't get cast members on our show from the shows we cover.
Yeah.
It's not because of me.
That's true. I still stand. I know you hated her dress. I still stand behind this dress. I don't usually like dresses like this. They are very boobalicious for me. But somehow she pulls it off because she's tall, broad-shouldered. I love this look for her.
Okay, I think I don't love it.
Yeah.
However, now that it's been fitted to her and
Yeah,
with the
it's better.
styling and her hair, and it looks much, 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 much better. Much better.
It's very different than your normal wedding dress, and it kind of fits her.
It does have what it didn't have before with the fit, it does now. It does have an air of romanticism about it, and I do
It's
like
not
that.
slutty mama's family.
That's fair.
Not Naomi
That's
from
fair.
Mama's
Not
family. Not slutty Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
because it's much better fitted. So Zach walks in. He's walking down the aisle. Bliss is there with both her parents, and her dad says, "Today's going to be a great day, no matter what." And so go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, did you hear the mom and the dad was like grumping? Mom kept saying, "Look at me, look at me." So mom knows. There's a reason mom divorced that man.
Yeah,
Mom was trying to say, "Forget that grump. Just look at me." I felt so. I felt just so much love from her mother at that point, where she was just.
I
doing
love
a
her
little-
mother. I think, but I was nervous though when she walked in because you can't tell with Zach. Zach looked, and even his grandma said he looked scared. He looked
he
like
was white.
He was white, and that's where I went a little bit like, oh fuck. If he fucking
I know.
it brought her in the second time around and says no, he's gonna be skewered on this show.
Y'all, the wedding officiant in this wedding was Carolyn, the accounts payable manager of the resort.
They didn't have any last minute.
She was just kind of blonde with glasses, kind of statuesque woman. She was there. Loves corgis.
Who doesn't? With short little feet. So cute.
Everything in her office is corgi.
Yeah.
Everything.
Corgi calendar.
Doesn't have one, though,
stuff.
because she's allergic.
Really was really worried when the queen died where they were going to go.
Remember when someone said, "Well, they'll be buried with her and euthanized us." Jesus.
Yeah.
Y'all, he basically says these vows, "The moment I fell in love with you was the moment I told you goodbye." And I thought, that's the most poetic thing I've ever heard in a Love is Blind
That was
ceremony.
pretty fucking beautiful.
And she kind of was looking at her, and as soon as he said that, she's looking, and you saw her smile, and I went, "This is fine. This is fine."
When he said, he had the best vows because he said, "Your actions speak so much more than you say." He said,
"Oh God!"
He said, "You don't ache to tell me you love me. You show me that you love me."
I'm tearing up now. I'm tearing up now.
You don't ache to show me. I mean, you can tell he's an attorney, so he knows how to turn a phrase.
Oh, yeah. She says, "Your perception of the world is so beautiful. You're so kind. You're maybe the kindest person I've ever met. And I've never met someone like you. And you make me feel very special."
And she said, "I believe in second chances, and how you care about others is amazing to me."
He didn't blink the entire time.
No, not once. Not once.
Still constant eye contact, staring right through her.
Right through her.
That would take a lot for me to get used to, especially during sex where he just stares at you. Because I already do that. Come on!
Yeah, you do. So Zach goes first, and I was more nervous about him. And I was standing up. I had to stand up and watch this. I couldn't sit down. And when he said "I do," I screamed and I jumped up and like twirled around.
That wasn't my response.
What was your
Mine
reaction?
was that I felt like my bowels unclenched for the first time in 3 weeks for watching this show.
You just immediately shat yourself on your couch.
All over my couch.
Just
took a huge shit.
Just
It's a good thing. It's a good thing the rubber sheets were on from my last
like
hookup.
a broken Dutch levee. Just kaboosh.
When the levees broke. Wow.
Y'all, she says "I do" too, and then he grabs her and he dips her and kisses her.
It's lovely. The
Oh,
ratio this time was 50-50. And I think that's our best ratio. I think it's because we only had 4 couples. I think Marshall and first of all, they would have never made it. But Marshall and Jackie would have been probably a no.
yeah, she
So
would have said no.
that's the ratio that I think
He might
we've
have said
had
no.
consistently. We've had 2 couples and 3 saying no.
So Paul said, kind of in the aftermath, he's standing in the rain. He said, "I thought love is enough, and but I would." He said, "But I would like to be grateful for what we have."
Love just ain't enough.
And Micah said, "I knew he needed to show. I knew he needed to say I do first." She said, "I would have said yes 100%. It was an easy decision for me." And then y'all,
They played the song.
they
Now,
actually.
I cannot believe they paid for this. I did not think this would happen. I listened to mine on a high speed. It was like, I hope you dance. like a gay remix.
It's true. Oh, there's a version of Gladys Knight. Gladys Knight sings I Hope You Dance.
Good for her. I still go on record to saying that your wedding dance song should not be about dancing. I think it is a hat on a hat. I think it's also quite basic. That being said, I loved this. I loved this dance. Ooh,
good for Gladys Knight.
I like it. I love Gladys Knight.
How did you? Let's fast forward.
Oh, there's a gospel.
Yes. Oh my! This is so much better as a gospel song. This is great.
We can't hear it when you're like grooving to it and barely holding it near the microphone.
You know what? Okay.
We're not paying for that.
Yeah, we're not paying for that. Okay. So
I
don't
think I have anything else to say. You know,
let's talk a little bit about our social media then.
Oh, question. I wrote this down. Are Chelsea and Kwame going to be the Alexa and Brennan for the social media? Is it going to be, they're just going to pound us with dog us with content of them being the perfect couple?
They could
Mr. and Mrs. Lemieux. God, I can't stand them.
They could. Possibly. I don't know. What's interesting about this, normally the Love is Blind reunion is filmed like halfway through the season, but because of this, I think this is the first time we've ever had a reunion where they got to see every single episode air and how they were perceived?
I think so.
That makes it, y'all, you don't think about that on these reality shows, even the Housewives or 90 Day, they film like about 2/3 the way through the season. So they haven't seen all the episodes. They don't know their edit.
Yeah, Micah's going to be medicated.
Yeah. So maybe Kwame, let's see, as RuPaul says, who blames it. Let's see who blames it on the edit.
Oh, if they were perceived negatively, they're gonna blame the edit.
This is a good week. Love is Blind finale and the RuPaul Drag Race finale.
I guarantee you, whenever I'm on a reality show, whichever one I'm on,
got to apply.
I will blame the edit.
Oh, yeah, you will.
Even if I'm a nightmare.
Jake will say, I was not sitting on that straight man's dick in the middle of the night. I thought that was the toilet, and that was a bidet.
This is fictional footage. I don't even know where they got it. None of this happened.
Yeah. So the social media that we have is, we can talk a bit about.
We saw it if you follow the show at all.
Yeah, but it's mainly about Jackie and Marshall. There's a lot of it. Again, I mentioned the Kwame thing, and you mentioned Bartiz, but it really is. There's kind of rampant speculation. There's two things that are kind of, I think, prominent. One is about Jackie's sexual health, and I don't know if I feel comfortable spreading that, but it is going around I've seen a lot of that about
what was and Marshall is the one who brought this up.
Oh, he
Mar-
brought it up, like,
yes.
on social media?
hmm
Oh, then we should talk about it then.
Um, Marshall was the one who brought it up. So it wasn't other people speculating about her sexuality. It was
Oh,
him.
I didn't know that. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I didn't know that he talked about it.
Well, how would anybody else know?
So basically, correct me if I'm wrong, but he basically
Well,
said
no.
that.
Let's say what happened first, because
Yeah.
that's what started this.
Okay.
So the first bit of news were texts that were released. A TikToker from London, texts that were released from Jackie to one of her friends, basically very homophobic comments about Marshall, saying that he has sugar in his tank, he twerking on the bed, and she thought that was not that. So it brings a lot of context to parts about, I need you to be more aggressive with me, and everything turns into homophobia. That's what it was.
Because she wants a quote. She wants Josh really is the perfect guy
That
that
is it.
she would date. She wants to date an aggro, super hyper masculine guy that treats her like shit.
Yeah. Yeah, probably
And
aggressive and probably would hit her occasionally,
honestly,
which
probably,
she
yeah.
normally thinks is normal.
Yeah, I
That's
agree with that.
yeah, and so that's why it puts a lot of context. We were thinking that was just sexually. That's not the case.
No, it's
She wants that.
energetically, yeah.
She wants that energetically. She wants someone who's a little threatening.
Yeah, she's a little scared of.
That can reinforce what sounds like she might have grown up in,
Yeah.
or used to. She also just made super derogatory things about talking about, we're going to ride this out as far as we can.
Basically, she was just staying with him to be on the show. She knew she didn't want to be with him from very early on.
And anyway, and then she
Which makes sense of that bullshit thing when she goes up behind and hugs him and says, "Just love me," and it sounded so fake because it was.
And she clapped back with this and says, "Well, wait till you hear about something he said about a trans person." And I'm like, this is not what you do. You address what you said. You don't.
I mean, if he said something about someone trans, that's fucking terrible, and
Right.
people shouldn't say that. But that is totally look over there.
It's look over there. That
is.
is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's funny that people either think that'll work. Anyway, it was also, I think Marshall has revealed to everyone that she did not make it known to production that she had herpes, and he saw medication for it and he did not tell, and obviously they'd been having unprotected sex. And
Well,
so
even if you, I believe, even if you do have protected sex, you can still get herpes, like at the base of your.
Right. But so he was obviously pissed about that.
Which that's a good point of how much is that the show's responsibility, or is that a couple's responsibility to ask those questions and talk about that?
It seems like there should have been, well, maybe there's got to be medical forms, you'd think.
You think, but I feel like I don't put that on the show. I feel like if you're
that's on her. That's on her.
It's on him too. Like, did he ask? I don't know if he asked or not. Like, did he ask? Like,
I don't know if that's on the partner to ask.
Well, no, that's true. That's true. No. But it is. I guess it is. It is good. It just brings up. It's good to have a conversation. But it is on her. Yes, I'm sorry. It is on her. To divulge that.
Yeah. It's on, if you have something like that, you need to say, just so you're aware, this is something that is treatable for me. That's why this is medication, but I do have this. And I can understand not being told about it and being quite upset.
I mean, I let people know, I say, look, my ass has teeth, so once I latch on, you ain't gonna get out
Anal
of there.
dentata.
Yeah.
Right, Nessie?
Leave me out of this. So I will say that Jackie also says that the rings were paid for by Love is Blind. He didn't buy the ring. That's
so what?
She's claimed.
So what?
So what? Yeah, it's the whole, but I know, again, it's that whole shirking responsibility. She's an asshole.
Terrible. Yeah, I think
Ugh.
she might go down and was one of the biggest villains. Oof. Yeah.
God, I hope that she ends up getting with SK after this and they just fuck over each other. Because
Um,
I will say this, at least Josh is gross, but at least you can see him coming and you know who he is.
it's true. She pretended to be someone else who wasn't. Yep.
Yeah. I think that's all of our social media minutes on this, right?
Yes, that is the show proper for us. The next time we see you, will be live on Love is Live. Love is
Hopefully.
live on Sunday, Sunday, April 16th, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern.
We
I don't
will.
know if they'll address this stuff.
I don't know
Because
if
I
they
don't
will or
know.
not.
I don't
We
know.
will we will be doing an actual after show about the reunion because of Jake's schedule and things like that. It's not going to be don't message us and say, "Where is it? I need it." It's going to be a little bit later. That's why we're doing the live so y'all can kind of get our initial reactions now, but it
Right.
might be several days because someone's in the middle of the show. So just bear with us on that.
Yeah. Someone's in the middle of the show.
God, I'm so fucking sick of hearing about this show. Please.
It's like me
Sounds
with your
wow.
dead dad.
Yeah. God. Boy,
Now you get it.
just as bad. Now I get it.
You know,
Okay,
y'all, Zach's mom is smiling up in heaven. She's still on the pole.
Yeah, she sure is. All right, everybody. That's it. That's Love is Blind. We will see y'all for the reunion, and then that's it. And then after that, we'll catch you on Love is Blind after the altar.
Hey, Zachy, I see you up there.
No, we're not doing that. No,
You
no,
look
no, no,
beautiful,
no.
honey.
And if you're,
put $1 in there.
I just got to roll with this, y'all, so we can end it. So if you're a stripper and you're hanging out in heaven dancing on that pole, and when God
Who
looks
wants
at
a lap dance, baby Jesus?
well, when God and the Holy Spirit looks at you, heavenly stripper, and asks you and says, "What's life's eternal question?" What does that stripper utter as she dances on that pole?
The question is, do you have a wife? But no, the question is love blind?